Greetings everyone. It's my hope that you're okay. But things are not okay in the continent of Africa, especially at this time when we are talking about industrialization of the continent of Africa, continental free trade area. But Africa has become the fighting ground of the Western or Eastern interests. See what is going on in Sudan. Recently, we have succeeded to shut down, to silence the gun in Ethiopia, in Tigray region. But the new wound has appeared in Sudan. Why? Remember, almost 1 month ago, Russia and Sudan has an agreement to establish Navy base in Sudan. Russia to establish Navy base in Sudan. And America warned Russia that the citizen of Sudan will oppose the establishment of Navy base. They said this: Russia could face local resistance against the promised Navy base in Sudan. This is published on March this year, but 1 month later, the conflict between the generals in Sudan appeared. So you see, there's something that Africa we need to be careful. And many of our people has been talking this, people with goodwill, that Africa, there's a time we need to decide for our future. And this is because we are so divided. If we are so united, no one can come and say anything that he want. Maybe someone want to establish a military base in some part of the continent without the agreements. But recently, you see, we have a lot of military bases here in the continent of Africa. Ask yourself, what are they doing here? Why they are establishing these Navy bases? For whom interests? Someone can say they are here to protect. Are you sure are they here to protect us, or they are protecting their own interests? They are prepared to make sure that you, Africa, you will not deny their demands. It will be easier for you to be defeated as Africans. Let us ask yourself, my dear friends and fellow Africans, how many African countries has military base in US? How many African countries has military base in France? How many African countries has military base in UK? But we have allowed them to establish here. Just imagine when these big nations start to fight each other, what will happen? Do you think these military bases that are present here in the continent of Africa will be here to protect us? Or this will make Africa the fighting ground? And I have been spoken this for many times, that Africa, let us come together. Let us unite. We can't protect our resources in this way that we are going. We can't succeed continental free trade area without peace. You know, sometimes you can ask yourself, is it true that Africa we want fighting? Is it true that Africa we are the one who prefer fighting? Africans, we are not civilized. Even now we are fighting each other. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm just asking you, my dear friends and fellow Africans, is it true we Africans we prefer fighting than peace? We are talking about building infrastructures for continental free trade area. Are we going to build our infrastructures in this way? Look, recently in Sudan, the infrastructure, the flights has been destroyed, road has been destroyed, buildings. Just how much will cost Africa to rebuild it? or we are going back to take loans and the other to build the country that we have been distracted by, we Africans. Why we allow this? And I don't know the people who are in these institutions, or how they do they think about this continent. Maybe we differ in the way of thinking, but it is paining that we as Africans, we have our own plans. We want this, we want development. At the same time, we fight each other. Why we can't go to the negotiation table? Why we allow this to happen to our mother continent, Africa? For how long this continent will become the continent of conflict? We are defending the interest of others. So, for me, it is paining. And when I see the light, at the same time I see darkness. In the big darkness, when we are talking about maybe silence the gun in the last 2 years, in the year 2020, it is the last year for Africa to silence the gun. But look, every now and then the gun is erupting. The gun is crying. The voice of gun is moving. The ghost of conflict is still with us. We have succeeded to shut down in Tigray last year, this year in Sudan. We don't know what about next year. But how long will we continue to have this? We Africans, especially young people who are participating in these conflicts, please, please, defend your mother continent, Africa. Don't be the part of destroying this continent. We have destroying this continent by our own hands. Why we allow this? It is paining. Let us find the solutions in a peaceful way. Let us engage each other. We are human beings. We can talk each other. We are Africans. Africans means love. So it is paining, of course. And I hug my African people to stop this behavior of fighting each other. We have building these roads on loan, and at the same time we are going to distract this without returning the interest, and that is how we are going to suffer. It will take almost more than 1,000 years for Africa to recognize that this road, this infrastructure that we have built and now we are distracting through these conflicts is going to cost us much money to make sure that we build the continent of Africa. So I have no more, but I am just sharing my thoughts and calling my African people to stop fighting, to find solutions that will bring peace to our mother continent, Africa. Without peace, nothing will work. Without peace, we can't succeed. Without peace, you can't achieve. We are talking about Agenda 2063. This Agenda 2063 will become the story if we continue to allow this conflict to happen to our mother continent, Africa. It's me and you who are responsible to make sure that Africa has a peace. Peace for Africa. Peace for the continent. Peace must break out. Thank you.